Israel is a country built on hope and determination. And nowhere is that more evident than right here at Ben-Gurion University of the Negev, a world-class academic institution and a powerful engine for growth and innovation. Here at the anchor institution of the Negev, the future of Israel is in action. From around the country and around the world, students flock to BGU's 3 campuses to learn alongside leading professors and researchers, and graduate to shape industries, solve global challenges, and drive economic progress. And from the desert, they change the world. As I stand here on Ben-Gurion University's beautiful Beersheva campus, the energy is infectious. I'm Natasha Kirchuk, a TV anchor and journalist for I-24 News. And today we're going to explore how Ben-Gurion University is not just recovering, but leading Israel toward a stronger future. Welcome to remarkable resilience, excellence in the face of adversity. On October 7, 2023, Hamas terrorists launched the deadliest attack in Israel's history. The devastation to the Negev region was beyond comprehension. BGU students and faculty have been disproportionately impacted. Thousands of student reservists have left their studies to defend this country. Medical students have become emergency responders. The toll has been immense, and it's still ongoing. 115 members of the BGU community, students, faculty, and staff, were killed. Dozens were wounded. Thousands were called to serve. And yet, through unimaginable loss, this university has remained a source of strength, of hope, of remarkable resilience. A place where 4 foundational pillars, education, research, Negev, and community, drive progress forward. For over 50 years, BGU has fueled the Negev's growth as one of its largest employers and a catalyst for economic and social development. During one of Israel's darkest moments, this university lit the way forward, and they're still doing so today. While the wounds of October 7th will take years to heal, the Negev is moving forward, rebuilding, innovating, and leading both Israel and the world toward a brighter future. And so much of that is happening right here at BGU, where extraordinary individuals are embodying the pioneering spirit so specific to the first Prime Minister of Israel, David Ben-Gurion, and his beloved desert. Today, we're going to be meeting some of the incredible individuals who are making that happen at BGU. Guiding their successes is a global effort to support the university, headquartered in the United States of America. That international support ensures that Israel's not only surviving, but thriving, living up to its promise as a beacon of light to the world by delivering scientific innovation and ingenuity from right here in the Negev. It's my pleasure to introduce 2 individuals who have been instrumental in ensuring that BGU continues to lead the way forward. Doug Sesserman is the CEO of Americans for Ben-Gurion University, and the Jerusalem Post recently named him as one of the 50 most influential Jews, calling him a 21st century Zionist thought leader. He's joined by Andrea Goren, a New York-based finance executive who became the new chair of the board for Americans for Ben-Gurion University at the end of 2024.
Hello everyone, I'm Andrea Goren, chairman of the board of Americans for Ben-Gurion University, or A4BGU, as we like to call it.
And I'm Doug Sesserman, CEO of A4BGU. Andrea, it's great to be here with you.
It's great to be here with you too, and with everyone joining our 5th annual event celebrating Ben-Gurion University. Thank you for tuning in and for your interest in this unique and special institution. Doug, for those that are just getting to know us, what can you tell us about A4BGU?
A4BGU does exactly what its name suggests. We are a group of Americans, both Jewish and non-Jewish alike, who are for Ben-Gurion University of the Negev, which we regard as one of the most important institutions to the future of Israel. As such, we serve as a vital link between the United States and Israel. Specifically, our mission has 3 parts. First, we raise awareness for BGU and the remarkable education and research that takes place across our 3 campuses in Beersheva, Sde Boker, and Eilat. Second, and our most important job, is to raise the financial resources needed for the university. And third, we run programs like today's and others which engage people in our work. Finally, it's important to say that we are without a doubt inspired by the life and legacy of David Ben-Gurion. He was Israel's founder, first prime minister, and the namesake of our university. Ben-Gurion had a specific vision that Israel's future would emerge from the Negev. Accordingly, we are steadfastly focused on making the desert bloom. Every day, A4BGU works to make this dream of his and ours come true.
Indeed, and the support we provide is essential. Americans represent the largest source of philanthropic support for BGU from across the world. Thanks to supporters like you, we help advance every facet of the university, from its students, faculty, and researchers, and its collaborations with private industry, the entire Negev region, and beyond.
Now, before we go any further, I want to take a moment to congratulate you, Andrea, on becoming board chair of A4BGU. Mazal Tov. This is a unique time to take the helm and also a Lador Vador family story for you. Can you share a little bit about your journey with the university and A4BGU?
Thank you. It's truly an honor. My connection to BGU goes way back. I first visited as a child in the mid-70s and before either of us had turned 10 years old. That is when my grandfather first invested in and advocated for BGU, and when my father began his lifelong support of the university. It has been really special for me to witness the amazing growth of BGU over the years. From a few buildings with tumbleweeds rolling by, to what was regarded as one of the leading young universities under 50 years old, all the way to the global powerhouse it is today.
I see BGU's 3 campuses as the brain, heart, and soul of the Negev. Beersheva, the epicenter of cutting-edge research and innovation, is its brain. Eilat, a hub for marine biology and hospitality studies, is its heart. And Sde Boker, where desert science and environmental sustainability flourish amidst David Ben-Gurion's final resting place, is its soul.
I see BGU as a beacon of light. It is working to tackle some of humanity's biggest challenges. A4BGU's role is to inspire Americans to engage with the university and its work. Together, we need to build the world we want to live in, and for me, that means supporting forward-thinking, difference-making institutions like BGU. The Way Forward campaign is an example of one of the initiatives to sustain the university for years to come.
Way Forward is the name of the landmark global comprehensive fundraising campaign. We have an audacious goal to raise $1 billion over 10 years. Here in the United States, A4BGU is responsible for securing $600 million, or 60% of the total campaign goal. As part of this, I'm pleased to share a special dedicated effort has been created to raise support for post-October 7th needs at the university. As Natasha mentioned, BGU was directly and disproportionately impacted, not only by the atrocities that day, but also on our student soldiers who have been defending the country ever since. We are now seeing the cascading effects of trauma and PTSD. However, in Israel, right now there is nothing post about PTSD. The P in this case really stands for perpetual. From psychological counseling to academic assistance and financial help, the university is working hard to support its students, faculty, and staff. It is also doing the best it can to support the larger community across the Negev. With help from generous donors, we can fill funding gaps and support BGU's vital work during these very precarious times.
That's what I love about our work. When I support BGU, I feel like I am making a real difference in many people's lives, not just in the schooling of our future leaders. Everything we do wouldn't be possible without all of you watching now. Thank you to our sponsors and community partners for making this event possible. If you haven't already done so, please consider supporting our work, either through the ongoing Ben-Gurion Annual Fund, the only fund that facilitates a wide range of support for the university year-round, or through the post-October 7th Recovery and Resilience Fund. Please scan the QR code on the screen to make your tax-deductible donation today.
Now let's hear from some of the extraordinary people whose lives have been transformed by your generosity.
Back to you, Natasha.
Here I am in Beersheba on BGU's flagship Marcus Family Campus. Now, this beautiful city defies the impossible. It looms from the desert and truly lives up to Ben-Gurion's vision, serves as a beacon of hope, not only to the Negev, but also to the entire world. Beersheba has been transformed by BGU's presence since its founding in 1969. This ancient town has lived many lives over the Jewish people's long history. And now it's a center of innovation and an engine for growth that powers the entire South. It's become home to a thriving community of students and faculty, repairing what was broken and replanting what was uprooted. And it also employs an astonishing number of locals in the surrounding area. After all, BGU is the largest employer in the Negev. Guided by 4 foundational pillars: education, research, building up the Negev, and community service, the people here are leading Israel's most cutting-edge research. They're driving impact in the Negev, modeling resilience, and paving the way forward. Miki Malul, the head of presidential strategy for Vision and Negev Development, is one of those remarkable people. He was born and raised in the Negev region, and he understands firsthand the challenges and the opportunities that exist here, from next-gen tech to transportation, to agriculture, and you name it. As a special advisor to BGU President Danny Shamovitz, his role is about ensuring that BGU continues to strengthen the Negev's economy and also its infrastructure. The Negev is vital to this country, and BGU is vital to the Negev. Let's hear from Miki.
I was born in Dimona, which is a small city southern to Beersheba. I entered into this role as head of presidential strategy for Vision and Negev Development like a few months ago. But actually, I have been in this position all of my life. So I feel connected to this region, and I feel that this is my mission. We understand that the Negev region and the people in this region, in the Negev region, have a huge unrealized potential. And in that way, to make this region better, not just for the sake of this region, but for the sake of the country. I believe that in order to excel, we have to understand the wider mission that we have. Making research is not the purpose, it's a tool. Educating students is not the purpose, it's a tool to achieving the wider goal, the wider purpose. And the purpose is making a better society here in the Negev, in Israel, and in the world. What I love about our university here in Beersheba campus is the people with passion to contribute and making good for the region and for the whole society. I would say to the supporters that if they really want to create impact and change the world, change people's life, they should invest in this university. This university is crucial for the economy and society of Israel. It's crucial for the development of the Negev, which is the engine for better society in Israel, better economy in Israel. And the university play a significant role in building a better society and better economy here in the region and in Israel. And through supporting our university, you create a huge impact on Israel. From the Negev, we spread light to all of the world. And what we are doing today, we amplify this light with our actions that we are doing today and the partnership that we're creating in the Negev to impact people's life. This is the place to be. If someone wants to create impact on the world, on people's life, a real impact is here. Start in Ben Gurion University of the Negev, and our activities here for the region, for Israel, and for the world.
Of course, BGU's impact isn't just about research and innovation. It's about people. It's about the students whose lives are transformed by the university's unwavering commitment to opportunity. Someone who embodies that spirit in every way is Yiftach Tiran, a husband, a father of 2 young daughters, an MBA student at BGU, and an IDF reservist who served an incredible 300 days in the past year and a half. He was the first in his family to attend college, and now he's dedicating himself to helping others overcome obstacles and build brighter futures for themselves. Let's hear from him.
To be the first one in my family to attend university, it was really hard because there is no footsteps to follow. I considered the other universities, but Ben Gurion community and the impact it has on my city, it was very important to me, as for Zionism as well. What it means for me, the university support, it means everything for me, because after a long time in the reservoir, it's very hard to concentrate in anything other than the war and the people and the things that I saw. It was very, very hard for me. University helped me to get all the adjustment that I needed during the reserve duty and when I returned to school. When I sent the WhatsApp message in our group, when I returned, just that I was after a long time in reserve duties, all the students wanted to help me, send me all the material, and I stayed home and studied and got good scores. It's important for me to help and support other students like me through the same scholarship that helped me. I helped Ben Gurion University students at electrical engineering to get their first job at top-tier companies with my networking and preparation for interviews, and help them get the first interviews and help them pass the first interviews till they get the first jobs. The sense of community to me is very important, because I think networking can help people of Ben Gurion, can help the people of the Negev, can help the people of Israel help each other. Because community is something very, very important. There is a very strong community in Ben Gurion, from the alumni and the students itself. We help each other. I really felt that I got the help I needed. Even when I was in my Bachelor of Science, I also had a lot of reserves duty, and I always get the support I need from my friends and from the university. In my 20s, I was in Gaza. In my 30s, I was in Gaza. I will do it in my 40s and my 50s to protect my people and my country, because no one else will do it if not us. But we need some support, because there is a limit where the people of the Negev can take.
Now, resilience isn't just something that we see in individual students. It's a core value that drives every aspect of BGU, especially in times of crisis. The Faculty of Health Sciences has faced incredible challenges, with students balancing their medical training alongside military service and volunteer work, all while processing the trauma of war. Leading through it all has been Professor Relly Hershkovitz, the Dean of the Faculty of Health Sciences. Under her leadership, BGU has not only continued to educate the next generation of medical professionals, but has also found ways to support students emotionally and academically. She's even spearheaded a special admissions program that ensures students with unique life circumstances have access to medical education. Let's hear from her.
I'm a resident of the South for all my life, and the health of the people here around is very important to me. This is the reason I am here at the Dean. This is the reason I am a doctor here. And I see my mission not only as the spirit of Be'er Sheva, because, our medical school is the spirit of Be'er Sheva, meaning that the people are in the center, not the doctor, not the diagnosis, but the person himself is in the middle. And as I see my mission is to try and bring this notion to the medicine in Israel. October 7th, 6:30, war starts. 15 minutes past 7, I call the head of the committee of our students, and I tell him, we have to help now the hospitals. Okay? So he said, I know, in 10 minutes, all the students are going to be in Soroka Medical Center. And in 7:30, most of our medical students, were in Soroka, in the emergency room, trying to help as much as they can. The mission of continuing work and continuing studies during these days was a very important mission of ours, because this was the only thing that left people a little bit optimistic about the future. This was the reason why we put a lot of effort on how to do it. We used everyone that wanted to help, and the balance between soldiers and the volunteering students was the same. Last year, just after the start of the war, I just heard about a lot of soldiers that were accepted to be medical students all around the world. They didn't start their studies in Europe as they should have started, and they just came here to be soldiers and, to fight for us. They fought something like 3, 4, 5, 6 months, and the medical programs in Europe didn't wait for them to start. So I thought it's not fair that they fight for us and I'm not going to fight for them. So that my obligation as an Israeli person is to accept these students. In my school, all these 12 graduated the first year with very, very good grades. We all helped them, and I'm very proud of them.
The impact of war extends far beyond the university and even beyond the hospital walls. It reaches into homes, into schools, and entire communities, affecting families and children in profound ways. Professor Gal Meiri is a child psychiatrist at Soroka Hospital and a professor at BGU's Faculty of Health Sciences. He's been treating children suffering from PTSD both at Soroka and also in the hard-hit community of Sderot. As a doctor and a father, his work is deeply personal, and his research is shaping the future of mental health intervention for children in crisis. Let's hear from Professor Meiri.
At the Autism Research Studies, we are doing many kinds of studies, starting from biology to genetics, and then even going to environmental studies, risk factors, and also trying to understand what will help to children and families to get better to their quality of life and to improve their symptoms. These days we are also trying to see the influence of the war on autistic children and how to help them better in this really complicated situation. People think by mistakes that because children and people with autism are autistic, that they do not understand or do not feel what is happening around them. But actually it's the other side. They are very, very sensitive. They have their sensory issues. Of course, they are very responsive to what's happening and to the emotional status of their parents and their environment. And you really need to be very careful and to try to develop new strategies of treating those kids in this really complicated situation of, on the one hand, being autistic, and on the one hand, being very stressed and sometimes even post-traumatic by the war and these specific circumstances. Duet Center is a project initiated by Professor Naama Atzba-Poria about 5 years ago, and they are combining working with communities about reflecting parenting and reflectivity and research. The two leading women now in Duet are Professor Naama and Professor Florina, and they are both members of the Faculty of Psychology, the Division of Psychology, and Duet is part of the university.
The main vision of Duet Center is to think about the child. But we understand that in order to think about the child, we need first to think about the adults who take care for the child. And therefore, our main work is with parents, child care providers like teachers, nurses, and we try in all our activities to take our knowledge. We're researchers at the university, to take the knowledge that we do here in our labs and in the field, and to introduce it to the community by developing intervention program and working then with parents and all other adults who take care for the children.
I think that what happened to us since the war started, that we feel like we have many fronts that we need to struggle with. And one of the things that also happened to us during the time is actually it took several months to understand that we have another front, that we were not ready for it. And after getting some initial support from the international community, all the propaganda against Israel started, and all of a sudden we felt like we are alone. And at that time I was connected to other friends and colleagues in the United States, Canada, and other places, and I heard from them their point of view of actually also feeling alone. And I think that when we started to get people coming from the States and trying to look for ways to help, that gave us these feelings that we are not alone, that somebody really wants to be with us and somebody really wants to help in terms of really more bigger picture and zoom out of resiliency. This is part of the resiliency of FBGU, and I'm sure that these days, with the very high involvement of BGU resources, donations for these kind of purposes of combining clinical work and research, will really benefit all our communities of the people that get the help and for the ones that also gives it.
The trauma faced by children and families in the South is staggering, but Professor Meili's dedication and the resilience of the people he treats makes all the difference. That dedication is something that we see in so many of BGU's students. Even as they heal, they're beacons of light, continuing their studies, serving their country, and finding ways to give back to others. One of those students is Noah Dekel, a student who leads the student union on the Beersheba campus. Under her leadership, the student union has been instrumental in supporting students who are returning from reserve duty. Let's listen to what she has to say.
My time here as the chairperson of the student union really shaped my thinking and main idea of leadership and responsibility, because I understand that if you want that something will change, you need to do it yourself. And you can do it better if you take in with you a group of people that believe in this goal. I understand that it's not so easy to stand in the front, and that we have a responsibility to represent the student here in Ben-Gurion University. I understand that leadership, it's not an easy task. Not all the time everybody will like you and will agree with you. And in a hard time, you need to do the right thing for the community that you represent. And I'm really trying to take this value with me in every position that I'm taking in the student union. They doesn't come just for studies. They come to be part of something bigger. And I really believe that this is the special atmosphere here in Ben-Gurion that give them the opportunity and the platform to do that thing. We try to do it by special organization that we are building here in the student union. We try to build it by supporting an initiative of students that come in with idea. And I think that it's very special that in the university, nobody say them no. We just say how we can help you, how we can give you more, how we can bring this idea and make it better and bigger, and how it can be and be more effective for all the university and the Negev at all. And I think it's the amazing DNA of the student that's coming to study here in Ben-Gurion University, and I'm really proud to be part of this amazing community.
Here in Beersheba, some of the most groundbreaking research in the world is taking place. From medical advancements to artificial learning, robotics, cybersecurity, and even more. Like Andrea and Doug shared, you could think of this campus as the brain of the Negev. From the brain, we now head to Sde Boker, its soul. This unique campus, which is set in the breathtaking desert landscape, is where David Ben-Gurion himself chose to spend his final years, believing that the Negev was key to Israel's future. Let's take a look at the extraordinary work being done in Sde Boker. Nestled deep in the Negev, BGU's Sde Boker campus is unlike any other in Israel or even the world. It's a hub of international research where students and scientists from around the globe come together to tackle some of the biggest challenges in sustainable agriculture, energy, and even water technologies. At Sde Boker, students don't just study the desert, they learn how to harness its potential. Whether it's developing drought-resistant crops, improving water sustainability, or advancing climate research and renewable energy, the work being done here is leveraging tech to shape the future of global environmental solutions. More than just a hub of research, Sde Boker is the soul of Ben-Gurion University. Here, right where David Ben-Gurion and his wife Paula chose to build their home, and also their resting place, their legacy lives on. Students from diverse cultures and backgrounds live, work, and learn together in this small and close-knit environment, making it a home as much as a university. To help welcome us to this special place, I'm joined by Professor Simon Barak, an expert in plant tolerance to desert conditions, and one of the leading researchers shaping future desert crops.
I would say that there are three things that I can think of, at least, that make this campus so unique. The first is that we have so many different disciplines in such a small area that you get really unique collaborations happening. So for instance, we have Professor Mohammed Bashouti, who's a physicist working in solar energy, and he works on different types of sensors. And we have Professor Vered Sin, who works on how plants respond to insect attack. So insect attack is responsible for over 20% of our crop losses. And what they're trying to do together is build a sensor that can detect when plants are attacked by insects. And that type of collaboration is less likely to happen in a place which is much, much larger. The second thing that's unique about this campus is that the students and faculty, we all live in the same area. So the students live on campus, we live in the village, and that makes a very special relationship between the students and the supervisors. And the third reason is that per capita, we are the most international campus in Israel. We have around 200 students here, and 50% of our students are from all over the world, all the different continents. It's not just important for us to be doing cutting-edge science, but it's important for us to be doing that science right here. Because, well, I know it sounds cliche, but we really do feel that we're fulfilling Ben-Gurion's vision of developing the Negev. Ben-Gurion said that it's in the Negev that the creativity and pioneering spirit of Israel will be tested. So I think that students from all over the world and Israel want to come to the Sde Boker campus because we're dealing with some of the world's most intractable problems. So for instance, for my own work, I'm trying to deal with food security. So for instance, we know that the Earth's population is reaching around 9 billion by 2050, and we need to increase food production by about 70%. Now you might say to me, fine, we'll just bring more land under cultivation. But the problem is that most of the land that can be used for agriculture is being used for agriculture, and what's left are places like the desert. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to improve the ability of plants to grow in the desert.
Students from all over the world come to BGU to study and then bring their world-changing solutions back home. Sharon Chemweno, a PhD student from Kenya, is doing this right now by tackling a similarly critical issue: precision fertilization. Let's visit Sharon in one of her greenhouses.
Being in a Sde Boker campus is one of the best things that I think most of the students would ever want to do, because interacting with students either from the main campus, Beersheba, or also from other universities like Tel Aviv, when they come visiting here, they're like, wow, you people are like in the best place, and anybody can just want to come and stay or come and live. Because when it comes to the environment, in terms of the escarpment, hiking, and also in terms of accommodation, like where we live, and I would say the perfect place for students to live. You're just from the lab going to your house, which is in a very perfect condition. So it gives you that motivation to continue doing your best in terms of studies, or also in terms of cultural interaction with people. And also when it comes to the research body that is in Sebukea, when I try to compare it with back in Kenya, when I was doing my undergraduate, the relationship between the student and the teacher, or the student and the lecturer, which was very distinct. Like, I'm a student and I'm the lecturer. Here we don't see that distinction between I am your supervisor and you are my student. It's so much closer. Like, your relationship with your supervisor or your mentor is really very close. That means it will give you that nice environment to study. Like, in terms, if you have any problem, you're just free to either go to their office, you're free to call them, to ask them, I'm encountering a problem here, I'm having a problem here. I think if in future I would become a lecturer back in Kenya, I think that is one of the culture that I will take back with me, so that the student cannot feel this gap between them and their mentors. We have the best research facilities when it comes to different types of research. If you're doing either research with in terms of water, we have all the required facilities to do either desalination in the water department. And when it comes to desert agriculture, we have also all the equipments required for us to do all the required research in terms of desert. I contemplated of going back home. It's not like I didn't think about it. It was like something to think about, because it was one of the craziest experience I've ever had before. But I was like, okay, what happens? I've not achieved what I wanted to come and do here in Sebukea. I've not achieved my research in terms of what I want after my PhD. And we're also located in the desert, which means the plants that are here or the things that we are doing here is related to the desert. So anything desert related is like the Sebukea is the perfect place to be, because you're going to do everything desert related.
From developing drought-resistant crops to improving renewable energy and global water sustainability, the work happening at this small desert campus is shaping solutions for some of the world's biggest challenges. Embodying the pioneering spirit of BGU, students and researchers from around the world come together to push the boundaries of science. It's a place where the Negev isn't just a backdrop, it's an inspiration. Our next stop will take us even further south. Let's head down to Eilat. If Beersheva is BGU's brain and Sde Boker is its soul, then Eilat is its heart. Individuals who never imagined that they'd have the opportunity to experience higher education get that opportunity here, and they make the most of every moment. Even beyond their studies, students and staff go above and beyond for others. Inspired by that Negev pillar, they dedicate their time and their energy to volunteering and community service projects that uplift the desert communities around them. BGU's Eilat campus sits on the shores of the Red Sea, and it's home to groundbreaking marine biology and biotechnology research, as well as programs in business, hospitality, and even environmental sustainability. This is where students and researchers push the boundaries of what's possible. They learn from ocean ecosystems, they develop new biotechnologies, and they pioneer innovations that protect and preserve one of Israel's most ecologically rich regions. That same pioneering spirit that David Ben-Gurion envisioned for the Negev can be felt here in Eilat too. It's in the students, it's in the scientists, and the visionaries who are all shaping the future. Eilat's waters also happen to be home to one of the northernmost coral reef ecosystems in the world. But like reefs everywhere, climate change and human activity are posing real threats to its survival. And that's where researchers like Professor Nadav Shashel come in. Nadav is a leading marine biologist, and he's working on innovative ways to rebuild and protect the world's reefs, while also building up the community by giving Eilat locals a hands-on role in conservation. Let's go meet him.
We train and we teach people to do marine conservation, to do marine biotechnology. What we are doing in my lab is actually trying to restore coral reefs in different ways. So one way is actually planting reefs, and we have coral nurseries which are in different places, and we grow corals in them. Then we take these corals from the floating nursery and plant them on the reef. But we also develop and build artificial reefs. One of the things is that we want to have corals grow faster. Corals usually grow about half an inch per year, even less than that. So what we do is we take fragments, small parts of corals, and then cut them to pieces, fragment them, and we put them together on special design surfaces. These are all corals of exactly the same individual, and later on they grow and they fuse like so. So we are able to, and this is a square, but we can basically add any shape we want, and they all will fuse together and create one giant super coral. So we can actually have corals growing 10 times faster than in nature. So we can grow the corals really, really rapidly. Usually we think about our research in Israel as being the hub where we actually develop these methodologies, and then afterwards it's being used all over the world. There are different types of things and ideas and concepts that we developed here in Eilat, which are now being used everywhere. Our work here in the lab already has a pretty wide world impact. We developed a vocational education program for Australia, and now coastal conservation and restoration is actually a job in Australia, and students from our program here get certificates, Australian certificates. We teach how to create coral nurseries, how to grow corals, how to do restoration in different places in the world. And one of the things that I like to give an example is in Honduras, we taught this thing of how to create coral nurseries, and now 2 dive clubs actually use this knowledge to sell for tourism, taking part in coral restoration. So it's viable, and it's going on it will continue for a long time.
Thanks to professors like Nadav, higher education at BGU is more than learning. It opens doors to new possibilities. And that's especially true for students like Romy Wexler-Yilon. She's a mother of 2 and the first in her family to pursue an academic degree. Romy embodies the spirit of perseverance and transformation that defines BGU's Eilat campus. And with the support of faculty like Ronit Cohen, she's earning her degree in social work and preparing for a future of helping others. Ronit Cohen, the Dean of Students here in Eilat, is a prime example of what makes Eilat the heart of BGU. Her love for this community runs deep. She grew up in Sde Boker, and her father was David Ben-Gurion's personal doctor. As dean, her door is always open, and students know that she'll help them tackle any challenge and celebrate every one of their successes. Let's meet Ronit and Romy.
Romy, can you tell us what brought you to the academia of the Eilat campus?
I think the first thing I wanted to do is improve myself. The first thing I saw in the Eilat campus is the 30-year-old Mechina, and for me it was the key chain to start my new way in the academia, my first way in the academia, because I didn't finish high school, I didn't do SATs, and I didn't thought it's possible for me to even start a degree. So first I want to say I have ADHD, so study is not the first easy thing for me, but with your help, I got all the tools that I need And I have 2 small children, and it was very hard for me to understand how I'm gonna manage do it. But lucky me, I have a very supporting family, and when I need a little bit extra help, then my children come with me to the campus. So it's amazing. What do you feel that unique in this campus that brings other students to study here?
I think that the personal attitude of all of us, the professors, the dean, all the academic secretaries, we all feel in the same mission of making our students succeed. Our door is always opened for anything. Sometimes I can get a phone call from another student, even late at night, that his friend is in trouble. And then I try to talk to him. Sometimes, frustrated students come over to my office. We start talking, and then I will call them back to see how they feel. And all this make the students feel like it's home for them, and it makes them succeed.
Well, like a mommy campus.
Kind of.
I've never thought I'll have a degree. Never thought I'm gonna have it. And now, at the last weeks of my degree, I feel like it's possible. Finally, I can say it's possible.
I feel that I touch the people. I touch you, the students. The best thing that can happen to a person is that you can give to others, and that you can have an influence or an impact, a positive impact on another. I'm so happy sometimes to see students, after a few years, that they became a professional, they have good jobs, and it all started in the Eilat campus.
It has been a privilege to hear from so many incredible voices, each offering a glimpse into the remarkable resilience of the BGU community. Now, as we near the conclusion of this event, I'm honored to welcome 2 leaders who have been guiding Ben-Gurion University through one of its most challenging periods in history. University President Professor Daniel Shemovitz and BGU Director Professor Chaim Hames.
Thanks, Natasha. Chaim, we've been hearing a lot about resilience, and who would have thought that a year later we'd still be talking about resilience, we'd still be talking about hostages, we'd still be talking about reservists, we'd be talking about the war, we'd be talking about democracy. But when we talk about our students, basically it falls on you and your office and the people you work with. Have the challenges this year been any different than the challenges of the first 4 months after the war?
I wish I could say that was the case, but sadly, as you say, we're still in this incredibly volatile situation where thousands of our students are receiving for the second, third, and some of them for the 4th time. They're being told that they're going to be called up to reserve military duties. So the problems that we faced after 4 months are still the same we're facing after 18 months of this war. And our students have shown incredible resilience and ability to be able to deal with the situation. But if you want, things have become even more complicated than before.
In what way?
If you look at Israel's history, how long have wars gone on for?
Right.
Okay. 18 months later, we're still at war. Our students have no certainty.
These kids managed to do it all. Here everything is the army, the reserves, their families, their studies, and succeed in it and have the social life of Ben-Gurion University. And actually, I think to a certain extent, it's the social abilities of Ben-Gurion University. This idea that there is this campus life, that there is the support group, maybe actually is an advantage to our students than in other universities. I wonder if this campus effect has made life more resilient for our students.
I think without a doubt, the fact that we are known to be a university with a campus, right, and our students love being on campus, incredible for the students. They have support groups, they have people they can talk to, they know that they're not alone, they know they don't come just to classes and then go out into the vacuum. The atmosphere here is very positive. I think that gives them also a great mental support and stability.
I think actually if something keeps me optimistic in these crazy times, that when you see these students and what they accomplish, what their grades have been, what their companies that they're founding at the same time, and that they're still here, that they're not leaving, that gives me a little bit of hope. Let's go back to October 7th. The fact that I think the numbers were like 800, 900 of our students came to the campus and came to Soroka Hospital to volunteer on that day and the next day, not because you called them to do it, not because I called them to do it, because it was built into the Ben-Gurion DNA. And we've been celebrating that since then. And it takes me back to an incredibly personal moment, which was at Israeli Memorial Day last year, adding over 100 names to the memorial walks. How were we going to do this day? How will we get through our speeches? And I raised my head and looked out at the students, and I realized that they're the future of Israel. So it's up to them. And I just said, it's up to you to take the leadership of the country. If the future, what gives me a little bit of hope is that if these kids who get through the war, who get through their studies, that they can commit themselves to the future of the country, then there's an incredible future for Israel and for the Jewish people. And we're lucky, we're blessed that our supporters around the world stepped up, taken responsibility, shown entrepreneurship, come with ideas, and this partnership we've had with them really has enabled us to get through these past 18 months and just to really do the remarkable.
From Beersheba to Sde Boker to Eilat, we have seen firsthand what makes Ben-Gurion University so extraordinary. The people who make up this community, the students, the faculty, and the community members are shaping Israel's future from the Negev. They're embodying resilience in the face of unimaginable hardship, and they're turning hope into action. The BGU community is literally making the world a better place. BGU is proving that in the face of adversity, the answer is not to retreat, but to build the way forward. This is why A for BGU matters. This is why your support is essential. This university is leading the way forward, and not just for the Negev, but for all of Israel and beyond. And together, we can ensure that this beacon of light continues to shine, illuminating a future of innovation, strength, and hope. There are so many ways to get involved with A for BGU and support even more powerful programs like this one. You can join local chapter events, attend virtual events, visit these gorgeous campuses, or reach out to A4BGU representatives in your community. For more on how to get involved, head over to www.americansforbgu.org or scan the QR code on the screen now. Thank you to our event committee, our community partners, and our sponsors. And of course, thank you to everyone who joined us today. On behalf of Americans from Ben-Gurion University, I'm Natasha Kirchuk, reporting from the Eilat campus. Shalom and litraot.